I think it's time that we have this discussion, and I wanted to wait till these two games happen. I thought the Nuggets were going to win tonight, but they didn't. They lost to the Grizzlies. And I wanted to see if Houston beat the Lakers before I had the discussion about these two guys. Because I didn't want to have the discussion when everybody was harping on him. And then he comes out and has 45, talking about Kevin Durant. And I think it's time we have a discussion, not just necessarily about Kevin Durant and Jokic, but I think the way we talk about guys is starting to become bothersome to me. Here's the thing. We know what Kevin Durant is. We know he's a scorer. He's not a playmaker. He's not all these things. We know what Jokic is. He's a great player who can get you some rebounds and can get you some assists, obviously. Can average a triple-double. But I feel like, and I said this already, what happened to Russell Westbrook is happening to Luka Doncic as well, and just the Lakers in general. Now, I was a Laker fan when they got Lonzo Ball. I did like him around the Kobe era, but I didn't necessarily was a big fan because I was a Spurs fan, right? But I started following the Lakers closely because of Lonzo Ball, and then they weren't that good at the time, so I was like, hey, here's a team I can root for that I don't expect anything. And then LeBron came, and then everything went crazy, right? When we talk about Nikola Jokic, we just assume that because he's on the team, that they're automatically going to be great and they have no flaws, right? We do the same thing with Kevin Durant. Because everybody has been saying since the day he left Golden State, if you put Kevin Durant on a team, he's gonna fit in. No. People automatically assume if he's on a team, he's gonna be a champion. And we do the same thing with Jokic. I don't think that's, first of all, I've already said that the superstar era is pretty much, and when I say the superstar era is pretty much gone, I've said that just having one guy is enough. It's not. We are seeing something beautiful in the NBA where you might actually have to coach. You might actually have to have plays. I was sitting here watching the 1997 Charlotte Hornets play the Knicks, right? And I'm watching how they play. And that's how the Houston Rockets look like to me, right? It's barely any plays going on. It is literally give it to Muggsy Bogues, wait for him to get blocked, or throw it down to Anthony Mason, and let's just see what he can do, which wasn't much. And Patrick Ewing in this game is having a horrible game, right? Because there's no plays being ran. That's what happens to the Rockets all the time. And just sticking a random superstar on a team that doesn't know how to run plays, they don't know how to set screens, they don't know what a flare is, they don't know anything. They can't even do a simple, I know everybody just talks about a pick and roll, and I get tired of hearing about the pick and roll so often because the pick and roll is so much more diverse than just set a screen, either pop or pick. You can set a screen and you can do a ghost screen where you don't even set the pick at all, or you can do a different variation of that. And it's just crazy to me that you think that if you stick Kevin Durant on a team that has no ability to run plays because they don't have a point guard, that it's just going to magically work out because Kevin Durant can put up 27 a night. And the NBA is far past that now. You can't do that. You can't even do that. You can't just give it to the guy in the post and just pray to God. You can't do that anymore. I think in what's happening with the Nuggets, it's the same kind of problem. We assume because Jokic is on the team that it's just going to magically come together. Now, I understand Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray and all that's going to happen, but the Nuggets, what bothered me about the Nuggets is when they got rid of the KCP and they got rid of Bruce Brown. But when they did all this, they just assumed because we have Jokic, it's just a championship waiting. No. You have to build the right team around the right guy. And here's one of the biggest things that's going to happen that I said has happened to Steph Curry, right? Even though Jokic can put up a triple-double every night, it's going to wear him down. I don't care what you say. I do not see him having a much longer career. One, because he might not care because of whatever. But also, guys, it's mentally draining to have to run the entire offense every single night. You see what's happening to Kevin Durant at 37, who's never been a great playmaker, and then when you ask him to be, he just gets frustrated and mad and he falls apart. We saw this happen to him when he played the Celtics with the Brooklyn Nets and he got swept in the first round. And ever since, the blueprint has been double this man. Double him. Not saying it's that simple, but that's what you do to get him frustrated. He wants to play ISO ball, and it just flat out doesn't work. What's happening to Jokic, he just had 10 turnovers last night. The fact that he had 10 turnovers, and his turnovers have been super high lately. Jokic having to give this mental capacity every single night, he's just not going to last. And I hate that people keep giving him a pass just because he's Nikola Jokic, and he don't care because he's got horses. I'm tired of us giving a pass to Kevin Durant for not being a good playmaker. Just like I said, we should have never gave a pass to Russell Westbrook. Not because none of these guys are great, not because they're not top 25, all this other stuff. I don't care about rankings. I don't care about that. What I'm simply saying is I love basketball, and if we can't talk about these guys in a basketball sense and say, hey, it just don't work. We were killing LeBron, AR, and Luka and just saying it flat out just don't work. We have to do it to these other teams because that's what we should do for the fans, especially as people who get on here and try to give analysis and try to talk about the game in a different kind of way. It's okay to say this Jokic, yes, he could put up the stats, but they are empty at this point because he's doing so much, it is not giving anything. You have to get somebody else who can do things. And to me, that team is not set up for success just because Jokic is on it. Now, I understand it. Everybody says the same thing. And you have to blame Jordan and you have to blame LeBron for this in the Lakers, in the Spurs. Those four people, those four things, those four entities, you have to blame for this. And when I say Jordan, I really mean the Bulls. LeBron is different because he was on different teams. But we got to blame the Chicago Bulls with Jordan. You got to blame the Lakers and the Spurs when they went championship. Lakers, championship, Spurs, when they were just rattling off so many championships. We have to blame them because we think that it's just normal to just keep going back to back or keep being close to getting into the finals. We have missed the point. We have been spoiled thinking that that is just a normal occurrence, and it's not. So we're doing a disservice by simply saying, oh, don't change anything. They're just gonna turn it on in the playoffs. No, they're not. This is not LeBron going to 8 straight finals where you could say that. You had something. We have not seen the Nuggets even go back to the finals. So we can't say they're just gonna turn it on. And that's so frustrating because it's like, turn on what? To what? A second round exit? What do you mean turn it on? They haven't even been to the Western Conference Finals since they won. So turn on what? To go where? The same thing we're seeing with the Minnesota Timberwolves. This video is not about them, but I hate this thing of we're just going to turn it on when it's time. No, you're not. The flaws you have now are going to get amplified in the playoffs. Now, am I sitting here saying that the Nuggets can't win the championship, the Rockets can't? I don't care who wins the championship. Crazier things have happened. If you would have told me the Indiana Pacers were going to be in the finals last year, I'd have told you were crazy. So I'm not saying it can't happen, and I don't care about being wrong. But to just say that, oh, they're just going to flip a switch, that's what we kept doing with all these other teams. We did it with the Warriors too. Because when they were in the play-in, we kept saying, oh, they're just going to flip a switch and get... No. They went to the play-in, got knocked out, kept going in, got knocked out again, went to the second round, got knocked out by the Lakers. And it's just like, bro, you can't just turn it on. The playoffs is a different animal. And we don't know what's going to happen. We could say OKC, they don't have to turn it on because they've already been playing well. There's nothing to really turn on. You can just go up from there. The Spurs have already been playing well. There's nothing to turn on. They can go up from there. The Lakers have already been playing well now. So there's not much to turn on. They just have to put the pieces together. Same thing we're seeing in the Eastern Conference. But putting these pieces together, it's the same thing I've said about the Knicks. The problem they have in the late season, they're gonna have in the playoffs. They got close last year, but I called it when they lost to the Pacers in one of those close games. I said it's over because those same flaws are gonna show up again. So the Lakers, to me, have been seeming to put those together. The Spurs, they figured it out. When OKC was losing, they figured it out. The Nuggets have been spiraling down. You don't normally go up to a championship. I'm not seeing that before. Now, we've seen that with the Timberwolves going to the Western Conference Finals, but guess what happened? Those flaws, they pop up because they get waxed in the Western Conference Finals because those flaws become bigger. You get the wrong matchup on the wrong day, right? And that's why it has everybody where they do. So I wish we would just get off this narrative that Nikola Jokic is just the greatest ever and no matter, he can do no wrong because when the playoffs come around. No, dude. No. Address the problems because if you just want to say that, they're going to fail. And I know the Nuggets aren't thinking that way. Jokic has been saying they've had problems. So it's not his fault. But we just kill the NBA community with that because it's like, why don't we just talk about the flaws? I don't care if you like him or not. Just talk about it. And that way, when people watch basketball, they can watch it somewhat objectively. I understand we're fans, but watch it objectively. The same thing with the Rockets. We can see they have no point guard. I don't care how great Kevin Durant is in year 37. I don't care how great he is, and I think it's 17th season, 37 years old. I don't care. It doesn't work. And it's okay, guys. You can't. I love what Wendy said. Wendy said, oh my God, if they don't win a championship this year, it can't. Guys, I don't think the Lakers are going to win a championship this year. I don't care. I don't think the Spurs are necessarily going to win because of their youth. But it doesn't matter to me. It's building blocks so you can address it next season or 2 years from now. How do you think OKC got where they were? They built up to that even though they were losing. It wasn't, oh my God, we lost in the conference finals to the Mavericks. Let's just blow it up. No. You build. The Lakers have something to build on if they don't get there. The Spurs have something to build on if they don't get there. See, we'll still have something to build on. So the Nuggets and the Rockets, they have something to build on. I would strongly suggest that the Rockets, even if they get a point guard, I would not have Kevin Durant on my team. I wouldn't, because Kevin Durant wants to play iso ball. That's not gonna work today in the NBA. It's just not. Okay? Because he's not a good enough playmaker to do that. Luka can get away with it because if Luka plays iso ball and you decide to double him, he might split that bad boy or he might make a great pass. Kevin Durant is almost getting, I hate saying this, but he's almost getting obsolete. Iso ball is very hard to play in the NBA today. And it's not Kevin's fault. He's still a great player. But that iso ball is going to have you cooked. Because these teams are going to be like, he's 38. He's frustrated. Let's just keep it pushing. It's not even working with Curry, a great playmaker himself. You see, yes, he was able to do all that stuff, but 2 of them were with Durant. And he got 2 on his own. But as he starts to age and he's starting to get hurt more, dude, if you can't play, it makes it harder for you to continue on with success. Even LeBron has his problems because he's not as athletic anymore. So yes, he might get blocked at the rim. He may smoke a whole ass layup sometimes. He's getting older, but he's having to use his mind. He's like, I can't do it. I'm going to pass it. I'm going to do this. Let me create a play. Let me tell this guy to go here. That makes a difference. If you don't have that playmaking ability, it's just going to kill you. And as far as Jokic is concerned, he is doing too much and it's going to mentally wear him out. And the worse he gets having these turnover games, he's going to kill them in the playoffs. Unless Jamal has a random great game or Aaron Gordon goes and hits 7 threes, if you're relying on that to win the championship, it's not going to happen because there's just going to come a night where you're off. Jokic is rarely off, but he does throw the ball away a lot. Because, dude, it just gets hard to keep playing against these defenses. And I know everybody talks about this, and I'll shut up. I'm watching 90s basketball right now, right? And, dude, the defense they played back then compared to what they play now, it's a completely different world. I'm not saying the 90s suck, but I'm also saying playing defense today is hard as hell. But it's also hard to play against these defenses. People are more athletic now. We see what happens with Wemby. You can do everything, and he's right on your neck. Maybe we should slow down, take a break from just saying Jokic is just gonna turn it on. There's nothing to turn on. He's playing as well as you possibly can. The team's just not good enough. It's okay to say that. Kevin Durant's not just gonna turn it on. Why? Because the team is just not good enough. It's okay to say that. It's all right. We could just watch basketball and say, hey, it just wasn't their year. They didn't have the team to do it. Can we do that? Love y'all.